Bulletproof Risk Management Guide. I definitely think that most traders that just start to trade really don't pay a lot of attention to the risk profile. And what I learned from the past 10 and more years of experience in trading is that my only goal as a trader is to manage the risk of my portfolio, and that's all. Because generating ideas is the simple part. We have a lot of indicators that help you to enter the trade and give you the clues like where to buy and where to sell. But overall, even if you have the best system in the world, but you're not paying attention on the small details like the risk management, you are going to fail as a trader. And let me give you just a quick example. On these two tables, we have on the left side amount of a capital loss. That means if we lose a 10% in one trade, for example, we are going to see on the right part how much percent we need to make to get back to just break even. So if we lose 10%, we must make 11.11% to get to break even. So definitely 11.11% is not that high number, and you can recover from that. But if you go higher, like 20%, you will need to make a 25% back just to get to the break even. Making 25% is not that easy job, especially if you're new to trading. And when we go higher, like a 30 or 40%, let's say 40% we'll lose in 1 month time, we will need to make 66.66% to get to the break even. It's going to be hard to make that kind of a return in just a month period of time. It's fine if you know what you're doing and if you are successful right now, but most people, when they start to trade, they really don't pay attention of their overall risk. That's why I really think that it's much better to pay attention on the risk right from the start. And most traders will blow at least one trading account in their life. And I don't want that part to happen to you. If you lose a 50% of any account, it's going to be nearly impossible to make that 100% back. I don't say you cannot make the 100%. You can, but there is going to be a lot of pressure coming from your mind. So let's imagine a scenario. We lost a 50% 1 month, and we made a 20% back the next month. That sounds great, but in your head, you will start having a problem because you know that 20% is not nearly enough. And we know that there is a long way to reach that 100%. So it's probably much wiser part to double or triple that amount that you have left in your account. So for example, if I got $1,000 starting capital and I drop a 50%, so 500, I would rather deposit like a 500 more or even 1,000 more. This way, I would need to make a 50% until I start paying myself. I need to force myself to earn only, let's say, 5-10%, for example, and I would be fine with that idea. So in case you ever lose 50% or more of your account, I strongly suggest that you stop trading for at least 30 days. This way, you will stop yourself from making a bad mistakes and trying to force yourself to trade and trade and trade. I want you to go back to the video education, watch all the videos, go to a demo account for at least 30 days, and only when you see that everything is working for you there, you can get back to your real account. But I don't want you to blow that entire account right away. We want to add a few things in our risk management guide. The first thing would be risk per trade. Maximum allowed allocated risk for each of your trades. Each of your trades must have exactly the same amount of risk. Conservative traders should use risk per trade around 1 and 2%, while aggressive traders should use risk per trade around 0.5 to 1%. Definitely doesn't mean if you have a larger account that you are going to use something different. I think that sticking between 0.5 and 1% as a risk per trade, you would always be fine. Quick tip: if you're trading around important news events, try cutting your risk per trade to half. So if you want to trade during the news, it's fine. But let's say my usual risk per trade is 1%. And every time I want to try to trade the news, I would drop my risk per trade to 0.50%. This way I know even if something really strong happens and my broker don't want to close my order for any reason at my stop loss, I'm not going to lose that much. Also, what I strongly recommend is that you don't try, let's say, 1% on one trade, then move to 2%, 3, 4, 5, and play around that. Your goal is always to have the same exact amount of the risk allocated for all of your trades. Only if you see the news and you really want to trade the news, just cut that to half and that's all. Risk per day. Maximum allowed drop down for one trading day. We must define when we want to step away from trading and relax a little bit before a new trading day. Conservative traders should use risk per day around 2 to 3%, while aggressive traders should use the risk per day around 1.5 to 2%. Now, risk per day is just for you to give yourself a room of how much money you can spend today in case everything goes wrong. Of course, we don't want to have that idea that we want to allow ourselves to do something wrong, but I want myself personally to prevent from over trading. Because I know, let's say, if we use 1% as risk per trade and we set risk per day to be at 3%, if we have a 3 losses in a row, that would give me that 3% risk per day drop. Now, at that point, I will start trying to find the setups that are really not there, just to recover and say, okay, I didn't end the day in a red. But keep in mind that it's not that every single day is going to be your big winning day. Every single trader, even the best trading algos in the world, have that losing day. So we must be fine with that. But I want us to stand from our desk if we reach that risk per day and just do whatever we want, but we don't want to trade. Risk per week. Maximum allowed dropdown for one trading week. We must define the maximum amount that we can lose in 1 week. If we reach that level, just stop trading until the next week starts. For conservative traders, we advise that you use between 5 to 6%. And for aggressive traders, you should use that risk per week around 3 to 5%. So it's same as risk per day. If you reach it, you stop. Now, in this case, you would stop till the end of this week. Even if you lose that 5 to 6% on Monday, I'm not sure how, if you set a decent risk per day and you follow that rule, but let's assume something bad happened and you lost that 5 to 6% in one single day. Stop trading till the next week. Relax, do whatever you want. Just don't trade. The next thing that we need to set up would be a risk per month. Maximum allowed dropdown for one trading month. We must define the maximum amount that we can lose in 1 month. If we reach that level, just stop trading until the next month starts. Conservative traders should use the risk per month around 10 to 15%, and aggressive traders should use risk per month around 8 to 10%. So, like we've seen on that chart, how much money we would need if we lose 10%, we would need to make 11.11%. And I'm fine. And I know that's more than possible and easily achievable. So I want my risk per month to be in that range. So try to stick to top 15%. Quick tip: never try to trade if you reach one of the levels of risk per day, risk per week, risk per month. Step away from trading, go do something else and get back to learning. Total open trades. We must define a maximum allowed number of open trades at any time. Day traders should use total open trades around 3 to 5 trades. Swing traders should use total amount of trades around 6 to 8. Only if you're aiming to hold position for longer period of time can you put on slightly higher numbers such as 10 to 15, but risk per trade must be 0.3 to 0.50% tops. If you reach your total open trades number, don't try to open any new trades. I know that people want to have a lot of trades, and that's fine. But from my experience, I really don't think that you can pay attention on more than 8 trades at any given time. But if you are day trading, we know that we have a lot of news that will come up every single day. And if you have a lot of trades, let's say 15 trades as a day trader, and let's say we have the NFP that got a really strong number difference compared to what analysts expected, and we start seeing a strong movements across all the markets, I'm not afraid that you will lose on all of your trades. I'm afraid that you cannot manage the trade quickly. Like you can manage 3 to 5 trades, but when we have like 15 trades or more and something strong happen, you want to know what happened. You need to react fast. And that's why I really want you to limit yourself to have between 3 to 5 trades if you are day trading, and between 6 to 8 trades if you are swing trading. Moving your stop. Once you open a trade, your job is to find a spot to secure your stops. We should look to be moving our stop loss to break even once we reach a minimum 50% and ideally 70% of our position. This way we are protecting our setups and allowing some free room in our portfolio. If you aim for 1 to 2 risk reward, moving the stop should be around 1 to 1.5. If you aim for 1 to 3 risk reward, moving your stop should be about 1 to 2. So you just want to protect yourself. This part happened to me a lot of times. Like price reach 90% of my take profit, but never get to that take profit, and then my stop was reached. And to prevent that, it's better to just move the stop loss to your entry point, so in case something bad happen, you're not going to lose money. Of course, that part is still bad since you're not making any money, but still it's much better for your portfolio compared to the idea of not doing anything. Partial closes. Taking partial profits on your trades can be a good and bad. Right in the sense that you are going to earn more trades, but negative because you will lower the overall risk reward. If you're trading larger accounts on a high risk reward such as 1 to 3, you can look for a partial booking at 1 to 2. For traders of 1 to 2, book partially only at 1 to 1.5. If you are trading smaller accounts, I will skip this step since you are aiming for faster growth and this can limit that option. Yeah, definitely you want to pay yourself along the way. But if you're trading really a small account, let's say everything below $1,000, I wouldn't suggest having that partial closes, just because your aim of doubling or tripling the amount that you risk is never going to work that great, since we are going to lower that number if we use that partial close. And I like to have that partial close, like I said in the previous step, where we move the stop to the break even. The bad part would be that you waited for 5-10 hours for a trade that just hit the break even line. So you wasted a lot of your valuable time without getting paid for doing that. That's why I prefer to pay myself at least something on that 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 if I'm chasing the high risk reward. Risk reward. An ideal risk reward is the key to success. We must set up a perfect risk reward for our trades. For NT10X, it's 1 to 3. So you are going to look for 1 to 3 for each of your trades and never settle for less. You can also try 1 to 2 with the partial closes and moving stops, but only at the beginning. I would strongly suggest to go with 1 to 3. For every strategy, look to get that ideal risk reward so that you make sure that you are on the winning side of the market, even if your winning percentage is not that high. Ideal target levels. You should have a fixed amount of percent that you are aiming to make for your trades. This is calculated by your risk reward and risk per trade. So if your strategy says that risk reward is 1 to 2 and your risk per trade is 1%, then your ideal target level should be 2%. If you reach that level and for some reason you don't have a take profit, then just close the trade. Getting rich overnight won't happen, so we must look to book our profits and look for more trades. End of the day close. Day trading refers to a quick trading style where traders open and close trades within a few hours. If you want to have a decent amount of profitability, you must learn to stop trading and never hold your trades overnight. You should try close all of trades at the end of each day or before you go to sleep. There is no need for you to have an open trade when you can't control the outcome. Waking up 3 to 5 times per night will just make things more uncertain. End of week close. Similar to end of a day, we should take into account for swing trades the end of a week. At the end of each week, late Friday, you should look to close your open trades. A lot of things can happen during the weekend, and you don't want to make your good portfolio suffer because something happened when you weren't around. An alternate action would be to scale down your setups and move stops to break even. Now, end of a day, end of a week is really useful thing. I really don't want to wake at night checking all the data coming in Asia for me just because I opened a trade in the late US session. I want to sleep. I want to wake up without any trade. If I want to day trade, for swing trading is slightly different, but at the end of a week, I don't want to have a position if I'm not 100% sure that it's going to have room, even if something bad happened over the weekend. And in the economic state that we are right now, and a lot of things are happening on a daily basis, from a US-China trade war, a Brexit, I really don't want to wait for Sunday to market to open so I can see a 200 or a 500 pip gap against me. Definitely it's great if you see the gap that's moving in your direction, but the chances of that are really small. That's why I suggest that you close your trades. Here are a few different examples of how you should set up your risk management plan. So every trader should do this for themselves. Nothing is perfect. You want to play with this a little bit, but I strongly suggest that you stick to recommended levels. I really prefer, especially if you're new to trading, to start with risk per trade being 0.50%, risk per day 1.5%, risk per week 3%, risk per month 7%. Ideal risk reward for now 1 to 2. Moving stop loss at 1.5, so 75%, 0.75%. Partial close again at 0.75%. Ideal target 1 to 2, so 1%. Total open trades 3. End of a day close, yes. End of a week close, yes. And here is the second part, but I suggest you wait at least 1 month to move to that second profile. So risk per trade 1%, risk per day 3%, risk per week 5%, risk per month 10%, ideal risk reward 1 to 3, moving stops at 1.2, so 2%, partial close none, ideal targets 1 to 3, total open trades 3, end of a day and end of a week close. These are two basic guides that you can follow, but you can get this chart right below this video and fill everything for yourself. Keep it next to your screen so you can always follow your risk rules. But here is a good thing, because I like to have everything automated. We have developed the risk desk. That's the EA that will control your trading. And I don't want you to just use it one day or 1 week. I want you to use it all the time. If you use the 10x risk desk, you will never lose entire account, because everything that we talked is going to be watched by the 10x risk desk. It's going to work 24/7 to help you protect your account. It's going to close the trade if you reach that maximum allowed risk per day, risk per trade, risk per week, risk per month. Also, risk desk can close all the trades at the end of a day or end of the week. We can book partial close at the levels that you want, or close all trades when you reach a certain percentage of profit. You can also control that maximum open trades, and you will get a notification if there is something bad happening with your account. Now, the thing that you need to configure with the risk desk, first in the comment section, you just need to allow imports and allow live trading. That's the only two things you need to allow for the risk desk to make that decisions for you. And inside of the settings, you should set up everything here. So risk per trade 0.5, risk per day 1.5, risk per week 3%, risk per month 7%. That's my current settings. Close all at the end of a day, true. Close all end of the week, true. You can remove that and turn that end of a week to false, just because if you have end of a day, it's going to do the same thing, but you can leave it both as true if you want. After that, you have that close hour end of a day. So that's hour when you want all your trades to be closed. For me, that's 22. That's at least from my broker time when New York session closed, 1 hour prior to that. After that, you have that close half. So that's closing, partially closing. We set to 2. So that's at the 2%. We are going to close half of every trade and close all at the 3%. After it, we have maximum open trade set to 5. And the final part that we have here would be that break-even point profit. And here is a 10. That's how much pips we want to lock in when we reach our ideal level. Also, keep in mind that break-even point profit will connect to that close half at percentage. So once we close half of a trade, it's going to move the stop to the break even. If you don't want that, you can just turn it off by putting a 0, and that's all you need to do. After that, you have that auto close set to true to automatically close the trades for you. You can disable experts if you reach your maximum risk per day, week, month. And it's useful if you are running algos. After that, you have a sound alert, email alert, or push notification. I honestly prefer only push notification. So even if I'm in car driving, I will get a notification that something is wrong and that I need to stop and start checking my account. 10x risk desk frequently asked questions. Do I need to put the risk desk on all pairs I trade? No. You need to put the risk desk only on one chart, and it's going to take a control of all of the positions. Does the risk desk manage trades if MT4 is turned off? No, your MT4 need to be on for the risk desk to work. So I suggest using the VPS. What happens if broker gives a requote? Our risk desk is smart enough, and if your broker give you a requote, it's going to try again and try again. You have a slippage option that will tell the risk desk how many points are going to be fine. But even if your broker is turned off for a while, if risk desk detect that everything is working and that your broker is giving a permission to trade again, it's going to close all the trades that are in loss or in profit, depend what the risk desk job is at that point. Can I adjust my settings? Yes, you can adjust settings the way you want. Does the risk desk set up targets and stops for me? No. Risk desk won't set up the target and the stop for you. But in case you forget to put your stop loss, when your trade reach that maximum allowed risk per trade, risk desk will close the trade. So it's not setting the stop loss for you, but in case you reach that maximum allowed risk per trade, is going to close the trade. The same goes for the profit. Once you get that ideal profit 1 to 3, is going to close the trade, but you won't see the levels anywhere. That's all for this video. I hope you now understand a little bit more why I really want you to master your risk. And with our risk desk, I think this part is really easy and it's not going to be that difficult for you to control. If you have any question, please let me know down in the comment below.